Midinda ha peer welcome hui unwaith arta the Kroeder Kroghen. Ha kinse no other da, the gurno ama barth mur noith.
The following nomination for Grand Bard was made and seconded, and the candidate signified his willingness to stand. Glas Gustentin, Dr. John Chesterfield. As there were no other nominations, Glas Gustentin is declared elected to serve as Grand Bard for 3 years, 1988 to 1991.
Dear councillors, dear Dewi, Vanessa Gil Olam Galos, Gan Agus Codian, Reglays and also Reglays, Dylan Kernewek.
Grand Bard and fellow councillors, thank you very much. I express thanks for this great honour. I must tell you that when I was approached about this some little while ago, I could think of a lot of reasons why the Gorses could do a lot better for itself, choosing me. But nobody took a bit of notice of me. And so here we are. But I look forward to these 3 years, to working with you, with your support, if you please, and to myself supporting this council to do all we can for the Gorses and for Cornish life. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
The new Grand Bard is Dr. John Chesterfield, 58-year-old retired research chemist for Imperial Tobacco of Chasewater. He was born in Devonport, though his father came from the Iluggan area, grandfather from Gold Sydney, and his mother's side of the family came from East Cornwall. His bardic name is Gwas Costentin, servant of Constantine, taken through an interest in the saint, St. Constantine, and also because Dr. Chesterfield wrote an essay on the well and chapel at Constantine Bay. He has been a member of the Cornish Gorses for 25 years. He is a competent Cornish speaker and has been best known at the Gorses ceremony as the sword bearer for the ceremony every year since he was elected to that post. And of course, those of you who were listening last week will have heard me interviewing him about his job as sword bearer. You see, I had a tip-off, I knew what was coming. He will be installed as Grand Bard at the Diamond Jubilee ceremony to be held at Polview, near Mullion, on the 3rd of September. Canas Balthmur Noid, the new Deputy Grand Bard, is George Ansell, whose bardic name is Caradoc, and that's an especially great pleasure for me since George and I were fellow students of Lenorm. We learnt our Cornish together many, many years ago now. Following the Gorses Council's decision, I asked Dr. Chesterfield what he saw as his role as new Grand Bard.
Well, the role of the Gorses is to take a lead in the study and the recording and fostering of all items of Cornish interest, whatever they may be, so long as they are matters of peace, and that includes literature and folklore, dialect, natural history, and so on, and to lead the study of these things and to generate interest in them for the benefit of everybody. The Grand Bard, apart from his obvious role at the ceremonies, the open ceremonies, must foster, encourage, and do all he can to ensure that the Gorses is being as effective as possible, working through his excellent counsel and through the efforts of the bards.
So tia will south bard mur, bo south kevalwedor.
The leader, yes, the Grand Bard is certainly a leader. He obviously has to chair his council, but he is more than the figurehead that stands on the platform at the open ceremonies in September.
Prydda thul fattlverth both tea duisis avel Balthmer.
Well, I've been in the Gorses quite a long time. I was made a bard in 1963. The ceremonial side is very familiar to me. I have had some, not a great deal, but some experience on the council, but I've known the senior bards of the Gorseth for a long time, and they've known me, and I suppose they have seen me as a suitable person. More than that, I cannot say.
Hapanda vinith G Gil, a Velbachmer, Hapanda vinith G Gweles, agrees Ganzan Orseti Honan.
What I would like to do as a Grand Bard is to continue the first-class work that has been done by past Grand Bards, to lead the Gorseth in all the fields of interest that it's engaged in. I've got a particular interest in the work of children, so the Gorseth competitions, I hope to become a bit more involved in that aspect of it, the competitions for school children, to give Cornish people, to help them to realise they have an identity as a people, as a nation with a long and honourable history, and to give them interest in themselves and in their heritage.
Brother, Mura. Glas Costentin, Dr. John Chesterfield, Barth Mer Newydd a Gurnal, the new Grand Bard of Cornwall. I should also report to you the very warm expressions of sentiment by the Gorseth Council of thanks to the retiring Grand Bard as well, Richard Jenkin, for the excellent work he's done over the past 3 years. And now on to some notices. Avisianzo. Kinse, weet vermoeden is zo sillen, parudis kan zeggen tavers, vragen irgendwees niet is, Gorislemmen van Gwenten, the trip to the Isles of Scilly arranged by Agantavus for the 20th of August has been postponed now until the spring, mostly for people like me who suffer from clavers and more seasickness, because we discovered there wasn't an aeroplane available on that day. Secondly, I've had a letter from Paul Hancock of the classical music performing group Pleiad, organised through the auspices of the recently formed Cornish Music Guild, who is looking for composers of modern classical music, particularly in the following areas: music for piano solo, piano duet, songs for soprano or two sopranos and piano, duos or trios for any combination of the following: piano, voice, flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon, violin, viola, one player, cello, percussion. What about spoons and washboard, I say? Anyway, seriously, if you are a classical composer, then get in touch with Paul Hancock, Brunyon Farm, Lelant Downs, Hale, Cornwall. Thirdly, very advanced notice of an assembly of Cornish bards. Very advanced because it's taking place a long way away. It's going to be held in Munta in southwest Australia. And I know that many of you who are listening will in fact be travelling to Australia next year, and if you're going to that part, to Munta, then May the 13th is the date on which the Cornish Australian bards will be assembling for their very special ceremony in the Cornish language, and former Grand Bard Gunwin of the Cornish Gorseth is going to Australia to represent us there. Fourthly and lastly, there is a new correspondence course called Diskin Kernewek, organised by Rod Lyon, who's the George of our George and Samantha series. Diskin Kernewek, let us learn Cornish. If you want further details, get in touch with me here and I'll put you on to Rod for Diskin Kernewek. And now indeed it is time to move on to George has Samantha. And this week they are talking about their Diddio Gol, or holidays. Samantha has been watching the holiday programmes on the TV and has decided that what she fancies is a couple of weeks in Almain, in Germany. Diddio Gol in Almain. So they go to the travel agents and ask if they can buy some tickets to go to Almain. And you'll have to listen out very carefully to see who's playing the travel agent. You may recognise the voice. So they ask for Dizeiten in Almain, 2 weeks in Germany. George isn't very keen, it has to be said, until the travel agent mentions Angol Korev, the beer festival. Korev is beer. Samantha begins to change her mind and then decides that they will still go to Germany, but in Mis Gwingala Ragangol Blegio in September for the flower festival. Not quite what George had in mind. Automony in with Arta, George ha Samantha. Where is?
What place? Near Gorsa Tapos Millennium in Cavadedio Gol in Almain.
Oh, have maar. Meer 3 ruggles.
Oh, and is your perfect, George? Do Saithin yn Almain.
Diw Saithin? Diw.
O, tynnu, madama. Dy weles ma mwyr o fforffoso a yw ty gweles yn Almain. Heb doubt nebydd a fys mwyr i lys ddys gwr yn gol corff. Fydd yn cens y diw Saithin yn mis eist.
Bydde wedna?
O, ni fydd edna Mary Leis, Marasta.
Syns bennen. Yr rydw lôn o bydd y fys taclo fel hedna yn Almain.
Nyn derfwn, ti lyfers na fynd ys y mofdi.
Na rydw i lo edna?
George, ti gawek. Ti lyfers y fi a far yn Saithin ni ran mos Almain.
Wel, mi y fynya.
Ha, is you different lemon a ti di glwyd yn ger corff campolis. Wel, calid luck map, George. Y fydd yn neo mos Almain rag ag yn deifio gol sy'r lawr. Meid yn mis Gwyngalaf, rag yn gol bledgio.
Oh, Samantha. Yn
Oh, God have us, George. Ah, gast him. Me gast y rag echi yn cens y diwsais yn mis Gwyngalaf in a needed dywort Heathrow. George, script checking my plate rag yn archo.
Boss do.
Poor George seems to find himself screefer chicken writing a cheque most of the time, doesn't he? Never mind. More of George and Samantha, necessate them next week. Oh, and I nearly forgot. Don't forget to listen out at 11 o'clock to the second instalment of 1588 and all that. I really enjoyed working with Ted Gundry on that programme, and I thought last week's went down very well. Lots of people have said very complimentary things. Thank you, and my thanks, obviously, to Ted as well, and everybody who was involved in the making of that. And let's hope also that there won't be any rain today, and they can finish the golf at Lytham St Ives, or get the third day's play done anyway. I'll see you next week. Mi ragus gwelys. Digan y hwyo. God be with you. Digan y hwy.